Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com, and we're here doing another classic capture. Today we're playing Run Saber for the Super Nintendo. Run Saber is a action platformer, which is well, the best way to describe it is a Strider clone. If you've never played Strider, Strider was a cyber ninja on the Sega Genesis, and then
the best kind of ninja,
yes.
might add.
And you might know him from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He's a fighter.
And one.
Is he in one too?
Yep, Strider here.
I don't remember in one. I know he's in two. And he also had a PlayStation sequel that is very rare, and it's a collector's item. But this is, as I said, a clone of Strider for the Super Nintendo, because it never, Strider never made it to Super Nintendo. And it's a really good clone. In fact, I would say it's better than Strider. A couple reasons is it's multiplayer.
That helps.
That helps a lot, and it uses some crazy Mode 7 graphics for some of the boss battles. I don't know. If you played Strider, you like Strider, you'll definitely like this game. I never played this as a kid. I actually found out about this game fairly recently, and picked it up. It's kind of rare, kind of hard to find. It goes for anywhere from, I'd say, $15 to $30 depending on the condition. Mine has somebody's kid's name on it, so
that'll be taken care of soon enough.
I need to get some. What are those things?
Magic erasers.
Yeah, and as you see here, it's me and Tim playing. I'm playing as the woman because I prefer her /
because it's trying to live vicariously.
Isn't when you see her from the side, doesn't she look like was it
Morgan.
Routes?
Routes?
The Pokemon?
Route. Her?
Yeah.
Kinda.
I just noticed that right now.
She's a Gardevoir.
I kept saying that she's like the Major from Ghost in the Shell with a lightsaber though.
Yeah, I could agree. I love that just that
down.
Well, clean.
I like the special.
Well, yeah, I just wish they had more than one.
I also see where they ripped off Ninja Gaiden 3, where they ripped off their special.
Well, yeah, Strider in a way was a Ninja Gaiden, not kind of rip-off, because it definitely took some of those mechanics, the climbing mechanics and stuff.
I'm just talking about the dragon going over the whole screen, killing everyone.
Oh, wow.
And the overabundance of how many.
Then they also took Sonic 3's special attack.
Yeah. Yes. So as you're seeing here, you turn into a light energy ball when you jump in a diagonal, which is very useful.
Like Samus's screw attack.
Yeah.
I will say though, I really like how you can basically grab onto anything.
Yeah.
And it works.
And more importantly, when you dislodge, depending on whether you're going up or down, can attack. You're not limited to only attacking.
It doesn't leave you open.
Exactly. You're not limited to attacking in four directions when you're standing. You can do that while you're jumping in midair as well.
Though I will say, other than the kick, you cannot slash up or at an angle.
No, but that the screw attack kind of dealy is good enough to at least get you away if you can't hit whoever's there.
So the story basically is, I think Timmy said it best before we started recording, it is Vector Man. The world's gone to shit. You have cyborgs trying to save the world.
Trash everywhere.
Trash everywhere.
It's Wally.
Wally with lightsabers. And
don't say that. Wally makes me sad.
These two are actually
That's true,
cyborgs.
But there's not enough happening.
There's multiple mini bosses throughout each level, and there's, I believe, 6 or 7 levels, something like that. And it's not a difficult game once you get the controls down, especially with 2 people, because 2 people take out everything, and you got one especially covering your back.
It also helps that they give you a lot of those specials.
Yeah,
you can build them up real quick.
They're overpowered, to be completely honest. They can take out pretty much every enemy, on screen completely. And bosses really don't stand a chance. But this right here is like the most impressive part.
I was very impressed with this.
I kind of want to say that as far as the specials taking out the bosses like they do, it's probably because this game, I kind of get the sense that it's a cross between, the side-scroller platformer versus, say, like a shoot-'em-up of the time. Not a good shoot-'em-up, just, kind of basics.
Yeah. And like I say, this is a fairly easy game. If you turn up the difficulty, you'll you'll die sooner. You have a health meter there, and you will pick up health pickups randomly off of enemies you kill. Same with your specials, and then you also get power-ups, a sword power-up, although
it makes it your range of attack longer.
It disappears as soon as you get hit.
No, you die. I got hit a couple of times, and
it's kind of hard to tell because it's a very subtle change. In fact, the way you know it's you have it is they'll make when they slash, they don't usually say anything, but there's the sound bite that she says the yeah, and that's how you know you have the power.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I will say though, I think they do like stack because I do remember getting a couple, and the range of it had extended quite a bit.
I was thinking when the monsters are coming out of that jet, I was like, man, this is like Resident Evil kind of stuff.
No, what I want to know is how the tail blew up and it wasn't spiraling out of control.
Because Nintendo.
It's true.
Because Nintendo. That is why, sir.
Yeah. So each level is fairly short. None of the levels are extremely long. The game in general, you can, I mean, back in the day would have been probably one of those things where you call it a rental. I think at best, it wouldn't have been something you wanted to pick up. You could play it over and over again, but...
Well, this was still kind of back in the days where these games were still made like arcade games because that's what people found to be fun.
Yeah, that's true, and I agree there. But, in this day and age, it's definitely... You know,
it would be too short. It would be like a mini...
This would be an iPhone app, let's
you say that now. It'll probably end up being one.
So this is made by Atlas, which at this point in time, Atlas is a much more well-known company at this point, you would say?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my favorite games are made by, well, not made by, but ported over by Atlas, yeah.
And I was actually rather surprised. I didn't know Atlas had any Super Nintendo games. But that's
I honestly, I didn't know Atlas had been around that long.
Oh, I should mention your shoulder buttons do a cool slide.
Baseball slide.
Yeah. Which, it's kind of cool how if you hold it, you can actually control how long it does it, based on how long you hold it. Most games don't let you do that. They have a preset animation.
Yeah, but it also does have a limited range.
Yeah.
You can't just slide all the way through.
Yeah, you can't slide all the way through, but you can cut it short, which is very important for parts like these.
You're not Bison.
That would be pretty fucking cool, though. Sliding everywhere.
Most of the situations you're getting into, the climbing comes into more effect in the later levels, as you're trying to get around like electricity, which we failed at completely here.
Yeah, some parts of this game is just really...
You guys, when I did my playthrough with Mike, you guys are supposed to destroy those.
Really?
But yeah.
Oh, okay, I would kept trying to avoid them every time I played it.
Yeah, no, I had Mike attacking the left one and me the right one. You can actually just kill them and it'll stop them. That's why I wanted you to go down there.
Ah. Yeah. And that right there, this is a cameo from Star Fox. That's Andros.
Doesn't look very happy.
It's like they finally gave me, facial features.
That's true.
He looks like he's having a bad day.
I like how they spin their little lightsabers at the end. It's like that's their victory thing. It should have like a Final Fantasy end chime. I mean, it's a decent game from a collector perspective. I mean, it's definitely one of those ones you put it in your collection, and people are like, "What's that? I've never heard of that." Or people are like, "Man, I haven't seen that," because it is fairly rare, and from a collection standpoint, it is fairly valuable. It is. Not the most expensive Super Nintendo game to pick up, but it's
one of the less known ones.
Yeah, you're not going to be finding this in a bargain bin for $5. It's very unlikely. If I were to review it back, in the day, I would have liked them to have had a couple different specials, because as much as you use that special, like we're using right now, it would have been nice to have, I guess, a couple different animations.
Yeah, but then again, back in the day, you wouldn't really have had that option because, I mean, if you look at most of the games like this, like, say, Turtles in Time, they all had one special. That was it. Most of these games all had one special.
The only ones that differed really were shmups and even...
Well, no, there were a couple of, like, altered beasts when you would change into a different beast.
Well, yeah, but there's a good example would be Golden Axe. You had different, if you collected so many of the power-ups that you have
really,
here.
Because Golden Axe is still more of an RPG in a sense.
I'm talking about the special, though. Yeah,
no, I mean, I don't know.
I really like the background here. I think that's it's pretty colorful.
This reminds me of a Sonic, well, a Hong Kong, yeah, but
Sleeping dogs.
No,
date the video.
I'm dating the video.
It reminds me of a Sonic level, actually.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kind of like a cross between Casino.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, that I can see that. You can see Sonic hitting a little springy thing to go up the top. I should mention that the climbing aspect is probably the one part that is. The rest of the controls are pretty fluid, but climbing can be a little stiff because you're trying to move in the proper diagonal, you know, depending on the terrain.
Well, besides that, like, the problem we're having here is, like, when one character hasn't moved up quite far enough, you can really kind of screw over the other player. It tosses you off the screen.
Although,
no, like, when I'm trying to climb up, it won't let me because he's at the bottom of the screen. And here, I knew we were getting hit by something, but I didn't even know there was an enemy. Just because it blends in
this is like
too much.
This is probably the only, like, sub-boss is kind of like, that's kind of pointless.
Well, besides being pointless, it's just kind of, you really can't see. Yeah, you can't see it
until you actually hit him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because that's why I didn't notice it. It's like, I just thought it was part of the level to begin
Although
with.
from a design perspective, that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good thing, but it's just... Yeah, that was one of the screw-ups.
That was bullshit. And I feel bad for you. You get some of that. It's not a lot, but
here was easy because if you just kept doing the ball jump, it just took out everyone.
Yeah.
At least on the angle.
This is my favorite boss so far, actually. Do you want to explain a little bit of the history on this one that we found out?
Well, two things actually. The other thing that you forgot to mention was the fact that while you are playing cyborgs, and we gave a really short version of the story, you're actually gonna end up fighting one of the cyborgs who was part of your team who defected, you could say, in the later portion of the game. The story on her actually was
I thought it was Vile.
Well, it could be both.
In the original Japanese version, she was actually not a dead lady. She was a lady on her side. But ironically enough, and I think this is kind of stupid, and it's actually more macabre, or if that's even the word to use, the way they did it now. Nintendo wasn't cool with that. They found that as breaking their guidelines for what games could and couldn't be ported over. They found that to be, I quote, offensive to women or violence towards women.
It got that Streets of Rage treatment.
Yeah, but to replace it, they put her as a dead woman. I kind of find that to be stupid myself. She was just a woman on her side, but that's just a little tidbit there.
If it was just the cyborg woman hitting her, it probably would have been different.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's just these sensors.
But he's a man. He's a woman hater because he hit her.
How dare he? I don't know. I found it funny that instead of using a different character or some other boss, they just used a dead woman. So it's okay to be dead woman, but you can't be a woman.
Well, I mean, if you really want to go that route, I mean, you're playing as a woman right there, and there's a whole bunch of things attacking her. Yeah. So what's any different?
Nintendo back in that time was weird, I guess.
Well, they still are.
Well, that's true. But we'll discuss that in our Wii U Wii U video whenever that comes out.
I mean, it's still a decent game. I think the question is, if you own a Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo, what would you prefer, Strider, which is what this is based off of, or this? Well, personally, I'd rather play this. Number one, I think
multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer is the best aspect. Number two, it looks better. I played Strider recently, and it doesn't hold up as well as this. Gameplay-wise, they're very similar. In many respects, but I don't know, this game seems to hold up better from a retro perspective. I mean, it's 2012, and playing both of them, Strider just feels really dated. At least the Genesis version. The PlayStation 1 version, I'm still trying to get my hands on it. It's kind of hard to find. And also, based on the rarity, I mean, if you can pick up one of these for, let's say, even $20, if you're a true collector, that's still a decent price. You know, I've seen this go for a much more $60, $70 range just for the simple fact it is rare and you don't see a lot of them, even on eBay. There are very few listings for this, and luckily I got it for cheap. I don't know. I guess maybe the writing on the cartridge turned off most people. But
yeah, well, that does devalue a game a lot, especially if it's extremely rare and it would be normally worth a lot of money. And not everyone knows how to take the marker off, so.
From a collector's perspective, at least for me, I want to have the game. The condition of the cartridge, at least for Super Nintendo, can vary. You know, I have Mega Man X3 and the label was shot. I mean, it was no good. But I have the game and the cartridge. I can always create a new label for it, and you know, because I never intend to resell these things. So I don't see the problem with having it that way because it's the actual official thing. You know, some people don't though. Some people really anal about that.
Some people need the box.
Some people need the box, which is even worse.
Not worse. To each his own. But you know,
I mean,
you're the kind of person that doesn't need it.
I meant from an expense perspective.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, it's, you know, it's kind of, some people are just such purists that even though they don't plan on ever reselling a game,
they need to have it in its
they want it in its, they want it
if it's sealed, hey, you know.
Yeah.
I can understand it.
There could be rocks in there, but if they think the game is in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like me. I mean, if I can have the case and booklet and all that, then I prefer it versus, you know, if there's something missing, if there's writing, if the label's messed up. I mean, I want the best one I can get.
But at the same time, it comes down to a price difference and what you can afford.
Yeah, but I mean, if
I think if Bobby had all the money in the world, he wouldn't mind going for
I bought a VGA certified plus 90 or whatever the highest grade is.
Here's the thing. I mean, here's a perfect example, at least on, you know, how I look at it. Like me, I am totally willing to spend $90 for Tron Bond, but if I do, I want it with the case and book.
That's one of those rare ones that,
no, but that's
when someone comes over and goes, look what I have.
Yeah. But that's what I mean, though. It's like, for a game...
For that, I would agree.
Yeah,
definitely.
But at the same time, how...
Well, okay, second part, you know, Guilty Gear, that game can go for like 40, and I paid 20. And I got it with the case and the back of the, you know,
it's not to say that it doesn't happen, but typically speaking, you know, just to wrap this up real quick, typically speaking, when it comes with the case, it does add to the price. It's just, you know, the way eBay works, and well, the world of collecting in all reality.
Yeah. So, would I tell you to buy this game? Like I said, only if you're a serious collector. If you owned a Super Nintendo as a kid and you're looking to repurchase it.
I would also say if you have a Super Nintendo and you want a game to play with someone else, you know, this isn't all that bad.
No, it's a good one even if you never played it. It's a good one to add to your collection.
The value decision is going to just be based on how much you...
want to spend for a game you've never tried.
Not even... Well, that and I think more the aspect of being a retro game collector or player. If you're more into modern, what's modern as of this video, maybe not the best decision. But we're going to leave it at that. This is the final boss of this video. And this is Run Saber for the Super Nintendo Strider clone.
He was cardboard all along.
Please subscribe and let us know what you think. Thank you.
Their world crumbled apart like paper.
So this is how Paper Mario started.